let's take a look at another clip that was done that day, and then we're going to come back to what you're talking about now. Your lost year,
Yep.
the depression and what it was really like for both of you, and how long it took for some of that to pass.
Sure.
Because I think sometimes we lose sight of that. The other thing that I am so appreciative of that you're willing to talk about this is for those people who are hearing this and they go into the home
Okay.
or they make phone calls to see how people are doing. And I really would like you to talk about how you were able to hide what was actually happening. So here's another clip, and now you're getting into talking about the depression a little bit in this first year.
Okay.
Well, Dennis, you even talked about the doing even beforehand, and that was a big help to you to be able to build the casket and things. So,
Right.
And I think you're saying that that's pretty consistent with your experience afterwards too, that doing helped you.
Exactly. I
Whichever.
think you know, in grief, or you know, even if you aren't feeling well, you know, if you're doing something, you don't think about it, or you feel like you're doing something constructive, it kind of offsets that that sense of grief.
Yeah. And even physically it can produce hormones, you know, it's like they say that was the hardest thing, you know. I didn't want to get out of bed. I just had this complete, you know, didn't even want to be here, you know. So
Yes.
it's, and then just the physicality of getting up and forcing yourself to start to do things does make you feel better. But how do you get there? The cycle, that's what made me so angry. I'd be so mad. Why do I have to feel this way so I can't get to where I want to be? And you know,
Depression leaves you feeling immobile.
It does. It's so debilitating.
It's very debilitating.
And it's really hard for family members to understand it too when they're not feeling that same way.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, geez, why can't mom just get out of bed? Or why can't she just do what she
It
normally
was
does?
it was difficult for me to understand, you know, why she was feeling this way, and how she couldn't, you know, get over it, you know, and that frustrated her too. That, you know, I didn't.
Well, you're angry, which is understandable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, if you step out of the picture and look in, it's so obvious. Oh, well, of course you feel anger, and I feel frustration, and but you can't shake it off. You can't just jump out of it. And that's what was so frustrating, I think.
That brings it back a lot too, doesn't it? Yes. Yeah. That was a really tough year.
Yeah,
Well, and more than a year.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to end. It was so long, and it just felt like it wasn't going to ever end. This was going to be the new normal, and we were just going to have to learn how to deal with this. And you know, eventually it did change. You know, and it didn't happen overnight.
No, it took a long time. And that, again, talking about that frustration, he was frustrated with me, and I was frustrated with him that he couldn't understand. That was really
it was a
challenging.
vicious cycle of.
And it was really bad. And then two, well, I'm a registered nurse by trade and a mother, so my job is I care for people. And so here I am completely shirking all my responsibilities, and I am not caring for anyone because I'm just in bed, angry, depressed, completely lethargic. It was really awful.
Yeah.
And
it did seem overwhelming at times for me.
And it was. This may go back to, you know, times before when, you know, mental illness, depression were always such a taboo subject. You know, back before we learned so much more in our medical fields now. But so I think I still had that sensation that was weakness and that was bad, and so you had to hide it.